If you find yourself with a camera in your hand and want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment below. Hey Photos family, today we are talking about one of the greater sections of the hero's journey. We didn't really address it when we were going through the hero's journey in parts of the masses of the hero's journey last 2 weeks we were recording, but today we're going to address it because it encompasses both the abyss, the transformation, the death, and the rebirth. Did I call it out? Maybe I didn't. We're discussing the revelation. And so the revelation as a subject of the hero's journey encompasses the last portion of the challenges, the temptations, all the way through into the coming outside that revelation. And that's really the picture of what revelation is being seen, to allow or to be shown new. The revelation encompasses the abyss, which I'm going to say is a major part to the cause of the hero's death. It may even be a part of the formation of the hero's rebirth, but it is through the abyss that on the other side that revelation encompasses their what's that word I used? Transformation. So today we're going to be talking about the revelation, but we're going to be talking about the death of, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about the rebirth of our hero. I recognize it's backwards. There can't be a rebirth without the death of the hero, right? We are focused, if we're thinking about the hero as the subject of our photograph, we're focused on the rebirth because it's the transformation of our process and our usage in this photograph to cause the transformation of that subject to be something amazing in our photograph at the end. Sorry, I don't know why I have the hiccups right now. So we're focused on the rebirth, right? So there's going to be a death in our photograph in that regard, that something is going to be changed drastically and for all time. But the revelation in the rebirth is our subject is going to be seen in a new light, because we are going to be photographing them for a very specific purpose in very specific ways to showcase something about them that they haven't seen before, or about the subject, whether it's a baseball or a creature, a butterfly, a bird, that the viewer hasn't seen before. It's going to be brought alive in that respect. We use that terminology, that thought process of, wow, this photograph just really brought alive to me this thought or this subject, and I haven't ever seen it this way before. I love photographing things in nature, and my wife calls attention to my eyes, calls my attention to things that I haven't seen before or I haven't been able to photograph before. And so it's through those things I get to experience and show the magnificence of things that we might not be able to find or show to our children or friends or family in the future. So we have those things in photographs that we can show to others. In real cases and truths too, using those pictures, we get to show those things online and catalog those amazing creatures, be it moths or butterflies, and show what family and genus or species they are. And so we get to really have a lot of fun with that, and that is itself, in this overarching topic of revelation, the picture of rebirth. These things have lived and existed. They had their time on the earth, but we get to showcase these subjects in a very real way, that we get to showcase their life in that way. One of those thoughts is a leopard moth. And I love the leopard moth. It's beautiful colors. It looks like a leopard. In fact, hang on a second. This is the leopard moth that I was talking to you about, and I love this shot because it shows something in nature that is not seen a lot of the time, and I just love how it really came about and the way that the photograph was shot. You see there's texture behind, giving a frame, a context to the moth. It's on some vegetation, the leaves that it's I guess somewhat eating, not just sitting on as a perch. But then you see the moth, because all of these things are leading your eye to the moth and its beautiful leopard spot coloring and it's camouflage. I mean, it doesn't really camouflage here in the green against the wood, but it's a remarkable moth. And some people might call it a butterfly, but I'm not even really sure that the naturalist's explanation of what it is and why and how it's named as such. But I mean, I hope you see this and you're awed just as much as I am. I love looking at nature and the creatures in it and how that they've been formed and how they live and their coloration and everything about them. It's remarkable to me to see and to learn and to just be awed by it. It's really one of my favorite things to do and to read of these creatures and to learn about them. And to think that this 12 by 12 photograph was taken with an iPhone. You know, maybe it's a 10 by 10, but still, the leopard moth, I mean, its own life, going from larva to the moth through its caterpillar stage into, you know, the propagation of life it has as an adult, and its whole journey is itself a hero's journey. We talked about the hero's journey in the form of the life of a butterfly, and when you talk about the revelation part of the hero's story as a whole, the rebirth is just amazing. This is a fairly young leopard moth, and it has just come from its chrysalis stage, and so its rebirth is very real. It's just had that rebirth, and it's now transformed into something new. It was having a hard time flying because its wings were still wet from emerging from its cocoon. Maybe it's not the cocoon quite is the same as a butterfly, but moths, some moths and some butterflies, and well, some moths, like all butterflies, let's say it that way, have the same process of cocooning and emerging. Some moths may actually cocoon in different ways. They may not spin a cocoon as butterflies do. But even though we talk about different movies, be it Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, you know, Marvel or DC superheroes, they all have a part of the story that is the rebirth of that hero. Even some of the new DC and Marvel superheroes, you see the story begin that they were, you know, normal individuals working their day job, and then something catastrophic happened to them. You could say that was some sort of supernatural event on them that affected their moving across that threshold and having guardians added to their story that has brought helpers into their life that leads them into challenges and temptations. You see how it works? That process, the more you think in this story of a hero's journey, is going to, I hope, help you in your journey and your story as a photographer. Start thinking of your story this way. Write it up. Write up your story, your history as a photographer, as a hero's journey, and communicate these highs, these lows, who came in to guard your photography, who is a helper to you, who is a mentor. Catalog your challenges, catalog your temptations. What would you categorize as a death or rebirth? And how does that contrast then if you find the rebirth easier to connect to or find, then what was the death before that? Was it letting go of some old habits that you shouldn't and weren't really building good photography for you? What was that abyss for you? How long were you there? You see what I'm saying? I love thinking about my story that way. I need to do that myself. I need to sit down and write out some details about my hero story and the journey of it so that I can communicate these a bit more effectively as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'd love to see your comments down below and your thumbs up on these videos. And if you're not yet a subscriber, we'd love to add you to our Photos family. Just do so by subscribing and clicking on that button. Turn on the notifications so that you see the updated videos that we have coming up to you every day here on this channel. Thank you so much. God bless.